These were my holy grails in 2024, but do I still love them in 2026? Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video we are taking a look back at my 2024 makeup favorites. Look, we all know what's about to happen. It's the start of 2026. There's loads of new makeup on the way, and we get our heads turned and we get so excited about all the newness. But what about the stuff that we really truly used to love? So today we're going to take a look back at my list of 2024. We're going to pick out some products, we're going to pop them on my face, and I'm going to be telling you truthfully whether I still use them and whether I still love them. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. So I have already prepped my skin with my usual moisturizer, and we're just going to get straight in to the products. So I did go back to my 2024 video, which it's always a little bit painful to go back to old videos and to rewatch them. I didn't rewatch it, I just kind of skipped through to the bits that I needed. But basically in that video, I spoke about a lot of products, but I only applied one product from each category to my face. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to pick a product from my 2024 list for each category and apply that. So we're going to start with a primer, and there was only really one primer that I was bothered about in 2024, and it was this one from Huda Beauty. This is the Easy Blur Primer. Do I still love this, and do I still use this in 2026? The answer is absolutely yes. I think I did kind of stop using it for a while because I'm not a primer gal. I'm not gal. I don't use that word a lot. I don't really use primers very often. So with me having dry skin, basically my main priority for my skin is to keep it hydrated. Now this Huda Beauty primer, its main aim is to blur, to filter the skin, to blur out your pores and to keep your makeup in place all day. It's not really a primer that I have a whole lot of need for on a daily basis, but if I'm going somewhere, if I want to even out some texture, this is so good for that. So that's how it looks. It looks kind of pinky, doesn't it? And it has this, I guess you could call it a bit of a silicone-y type texture. That's the best way I can describe it. But it literally does melt into the skin. And it really does help when I have like little rosacea pimples, which I have today. Thanks. Thanks, skin. Just what I needed today. When I have something like this going on, it's great because it just kind of smooths it out. Now, it's not going to make it disappear. Okay, we need to be realistic. Nothing's going to disappear, but it is such a gorgeous primer. So yes, this is definitely still something that I use and that I appreciate so, so much. And if you're looking for longevity in your makeup, perfect. And I really think this is suitable for every skin type, particularly I would say normal to oily skin, but obviously it works really well on my skin, and my skin is very dry. So I'm just going to let that sit for a little minute while we move on to the eyebrows. So my main brow filling product from 2024 was this from Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Builder Brow, and yes, I still love this. Now, being completely honest, I have other brow pens that I am more inclined to reach for over this. That doesn't mean that this isn't good. This is very pigmented, and the other ones just give me a bit more of a softer brow. So again, this is a brow pen, and it gives you really lovely fine hair strokes. And on the other side, there is also a holding gel. I don't use this because I'm not a big fan of brow holding gels, first of all. And second of all, it definitely leaves my eyebrows looking a little bit shiny. And I don't appreciate that. So I have this brow pen in the shade Black Brown. And you just need to take a really light hand with this because it can give you thick brow hairs if you're not careful. So we need to be really, really light-handed with the brow hairs that we're doing. So all I'm going to do is barely touch. You see, I barely touched there and it gave me quite a thick line. But just be as light and airy as you can. And if you're going too heavy-handed, just take any spoolie and you can just brush it, and it will soften it up a little bit. And the great thing about this is it is going to leave your brow hairs in place all day. So transfer proof, waterproof. You don't have to worry once they are on your face. You know, a brow pen is great for somebody like me who literally has to fake the eyebrows. But there's a lot of us that do, so don't feel like you're on your own. We're all in this together. We are, us millennials, yes, who plucked our eyebrows out because, well, for me it was because of Pamela Anderson. Yeah, she has a lot to answer for, that beautiful lady. I do think to myself, why did nobody stop me? Why did my mum not stop me? Honestly, why did she not prevent me from plucking out all my eyebrows? Oh, so annoying. My daughter, who's 10, she has the thickest, most beautiful, bushy eyebrows that I used to have when I was her age. And oh my gosh, I will fight her. When she comes to tell me that she wants to pluck her eyebrows, I'm going to fight her. Yeah, I am. So yeah, the Maybelline is still a fantastic brow pen. The best at the drugstore. That and the L'Oreal Faux Brow, I really, really do enjoy. I just tend to go for my Anastasia Beverly Hills or my Glossier Brow Flick over this one because they are a little bit softer. So my favourite brow holding product in 2024, there was only one, and it's this one from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel. If you remember, I didn't used to wear anything else but this. And a couple of reasons. I haven't used e.l.f. For a long, long time, but I prefer the NYX Crazy Lift Brow Glue instead over this. And I have not used this in a long, long time. Now, this looks a little bit scary. It has a white looking formula, but it definitely dries clear. But I've not tried this in a long, long time, despite basically using this every day of my life. So I'm just going to brush this way and then just brush into place. I did used to love this and used to rave about it all the time. And yeah, I'm not going to deny that it's a lovely brow holding product. It really is. The NYX just does something a little bit extra for me. Don't know what that is, but it does. It actually has spoolies on the end of this as well. And it has different types of spoolies as well. I don't use them because they're a bit big for me. But yeah, they're there if you want them. My eyebrows look very dark today and not great. I don't know why. Anyway, we're rocking and rolling with it. It's fine. Anyway, I don't plan on going back to my e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel because I love the NYX and I actually love the new Maybelline Brow Glue as well. I've been using that pretty much on a daily basis recently. So I guess no, I don't still love the brow laminating gel from e.l.f. I still think it's really, really good. And yeah, it does hold everything in place, but I just prefer other products now for different reasons. We're going to move on to the complexion now, and we'll start with the under eyes. And I'm going to start with the colour corrector that I loved in 2024. And it's the Bobbi Brown Skin Corrector Stick. I have this in the shade Peach. So I discovered this corrector for the first time in 2024 and just absolutely fell in love with it. It's so creamy, it's so beautiful, blends straight into the skin, helps to neutralize that darkness just beautifully. And I always used to prefer, if I was using them, a cream consistency in my color correctors, but just, you know, recently I have preferred using the Morphe liquid color corrector, and I just feel like it, I don't know, it's just become my go-to, and I just want to reach for it more than the Bobbi Brown. And the Bobbi Brown is very good. I'm not taking anything from it at all. Just getting into this dark inner corner. I think it's a fantastic product, but do I still prefer the Morphe? I think I'm going to say yes, I do. And, you know, the Morphe is just so lightweight. It's so invisible on the skin. And whereas this is, look, it literally just melts in. Obviously, with it being cream, it is just that little bit heavier. But in answer to the question, do I still love it in 2026? Absolutely. It's still there in my top drawer and I still think it's absolutely wonderful. I actually had two specific favourite concealers in 2024. So the first one is the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Concealer. And then I also loved the Fenty Beauty Wear Even Hydrating Concealer. So this is very serum-like, very lightweight, barely there. And the Fenty Beauty is a lovely medium coverage concealer. And yes, this is still an absolute holy grail to me. I love it so much. So I have a couple of shades of this, but we're going to use the shade 225 today. This is just one of the most beautiful concealers. I mean, you can see when I apply it there just how creamy and beautiful it is. It's so gorgeous on dry, mature under eyes. Now, it's not going to give you full coverage, although it is definitely buildable, but it is going to give you beautiful, smooth, hydrated under eyes. I love it. I really do love this. And do you know, I've not loved everything I've tried from Fenty Beauty, but this is so top tier. Like, I didn't get on with their foundation. The newest one, was it the Luminous or Hydrating one? Yeah, and I thought I would love it because I love this concealer. But no, not for me, just not for me. So I have two, I would say, at the top of my concealer list. So this one and the new Maybelline Lifter concealer. Now that is different in the fact that it's very full coverage and completely different consistency to this. So this Fenty would be the perfect everyday concealer, so one that I can blend out without even thinking, whereas the Maybelline Lifter concealer is full coverage and you have to spend a bit of time blending it out because it is quite thick in formulation, but it's so smooth once it's blended out and it stays there all day. It's sorcery, that concealer. And this is a different kettle of fish altogether, but still so beautiful. I mean, look at that. It's just so pretty. I'll never stop loving this concealer. Okay, never. Yes, it's stood the test of time. I love it. For foundation, there were a few foundations that I absolutely adored in 2024. So I think one of my favorites was the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I also loved the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation, but one of my all-time favorites for 2024 was this from Dior. This is the Dior Forever Skin Perfect foundation stick. I think in the video I actually applied the Huda, but today we're going to go in with the Dior because I've not used it in a little while. I don't know why I haven't used it. I think, well, just because I've got loads of other things to use, probably. So I have this in the shade 2.5N. Oh, it's so creamy. Oh my gosh, you forget. You really do. So I'm going to apply this foundation with the BK Beauty A101 brush, and I am just going to go straight in on the face. I know this annoys some people, but I'm doing it anyway. So I'm just going to do a couple of striperoos down the face. And it's just a dream, an absolute dream to blend. Literally just becomes one with the skin. Now, the one thing I'm going to say about this, which I will say about any Dior product, basically, is the fragrance is not great now. It's not great, and people will not be able to use this because of that fragrance, because it is so... The only way I can describe it is perfumed. If you have used Dior products before, you'll know that they are heavily fragranced. And you know what? Some smell nice. I have the blush, the stick blush smells beautiful, but then there are other products, some lipsticks that just are very questionable in fragrance. But just look at this side compared to the other. So there we go. Look, really beautiful medium coverage. Look at that side. You can see all my rosacea there. It's gorgeous. It really is. So I would say, I think it claims to be a natural finish. Yeah, I'd say natural, bordering on fairly luminous. But it is absolutely beautiful, and for an everyday foundation, it's just so nice. It really is so nice. So you can also apply by just tapping onto it and just pressing it in. And the best way to apply a product like this is to just push it into the skin. I do really wish it didn't have that fragrance in. I do. But somebody told me that the reason that it has the strong fragrance is to stop counterfeit products. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how true that is. You can see there how much it's covered up my issues. You see? And it's just a beautiful foundation. So, you know, in answer to the question, do I still love it? 1000%. Do I use it as much as I probably should? No, but that's just because I have other stuff that I've been trying to use up as well. And yeah, I think because of the fragrance, sometimes I do worry that it's going to irritate my rosacea, because that is definitely, well, it can be a trigger for some people. Look at my skin, how healthy it looks. And you know that my skin's not looking the best today, but it just covers everything beautifully. So really lovely medium coverage. I'd say natural bordering on luminous glowy finish, but obviously you can powder that down. You know, it's a very emollient, very creamy product, and stick foundations are never going to be for everybody, including usually me, but this is definitely the best foundation stick out there in my opinion. And I do think that if you have more drier skin, I think you would love it. If you are more oily, maybe not. I don't know if it would be the one for you. So we're going to move on to bronzer now. And my favorite bronzer in 2024 was this one from Too Faced. This is the Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick. And I have this in the shade Chocolate Soufflé. We all know why I haven't been using it, and it's because of this Mario bronzer, this cream skin enhancer. Yes, it stole my heart in 2025, and it stole it away from this, but I know that I love this product. Oh, I do. So we are going to apply this with a BK Beauty 112. It's just a little angled brush. It's just so gorgeous. It really is. So this is one of the most creamy, and look at how beautiful this blends out. It's so creamy, but just beautifully pigmented. It takes literally no effort to blend, and it's just so buildable as well. And I didn't use anything but this. This literally came everywhere with me in 2024. Literally. The only thing that I didn't really care for with this bronzer is the fragrance. It's chocolate, okay? It's just chocolatey, but it's very, very strong, okay? Very strong. And I have become immune to the fragrance now, but I remember when I first tried this, I hated it because of the fragrance, because I just couldn't get rid of the smell of the chocolate. Yeah, this I'm definitely tolerant to now. Oh, I just love this so much. Yeah, I need to start using this more, because this is such a phenomenal bronzer. And, you know, people don't really talk about it that much, do they? And I think that it's so user-friendly as well. I just love it. I truly think this is the bronzer that you couldn't mess up. There were actually two main blushes that stood out to me in 2024. I mean, I still loved lots of them, but I was very much in my liquid blush era in 2024. So my favourite two at the time were the Armani Luminous Silk Cheek Tint and also the Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush. So I think we're going to go with the Hourglass today. I have this in the shade Scene. The thing about this is the applicator is a little bit annoying. So you have to kind of squeeze it at the bottom to dispense the product. But first of all, you need to give it a really good shake. Isn't that just so beautiful? And although it looks really, really pigmented there, it's very, very natural on the skin. Now, I haven't used this in ages because I am in my cream blush era right now, and everything I want to wear on my cheeks is cream. So I'm just dipping in my BK Beauty 109 to that swatch there, and I'm just going to tap it into the skin. Oh, this is so nice. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so hydrating. Look at that. No emphasis on any dry skin. This area can be so dry for me. And this is, oh, it's just like a boost of hydration. I've only used a little bit of that swatch there. So gorgeous. Yeah, I'm remembering now why I loved this. And I didn't doubt for a second that I would absolutely adore this blush. And do you know, I've put quite a bit on there, and look at how healthy and youthful my cheeks look. I mean, come on. Now, obviously, a glowy, hydrated finish like this is definitely not going to be for everybody, but guess what? It's for me. It's for me. Okay, I'm going to leave the complexion for a little minute, and I'm going to move on to eyeshadow. So let's prep the eyes first. Do you know what? I'm just going to use some concealer. Let's just use the Fenty from earlier. I'm just going to use a little bit of that, because I know that eyeshadow goes on over the top, and this is just my Real Techniques. I think this is a concealer brush, and it's probably one of my most used brushes. It's so great for around the eye area, and just great for buffing things in. I don't use it for actual concealer under my eyes, because it's a little bit too dense, but for applying things to the eyelid, it's so good. And it's so good for doing like kind of around the eyebrows. I feel like my eyebrows are looking very dark today. Then I'm just going to set the eyelids with a bit of my Mario loose powder and my old Morphe brush. And I'm just going to dust a bit of powder over the top just to set that concealer in place. Now, obviously the best thing to use here is an eyeshadow primer, but can't be bothered. Yeah, I know. Such a bad attitude to have, isn't it, in 2026? And it probably would have been easier than whacking the concealer on my eyelids, but I am feeling lazy. I don't know whether it's January or what. I'm feeling like I want to cut corners. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. It's the reality. It's the reality of January. Okay, I can't be bothered. No, I'm going to be hearing that a lot in the next few weeks. I had a lot of favourite one and done eyeshadows in 2024, but my absolute favourite eyeshadow palette of that year was this from Natasha Denona, the I Need a Warm palette. It hasn't been used very much because I don't really use palettes a whole lot, but I do love this. This is such a classic go-to everyday palette. I think we're going to start over here with the shade Ripe. So I'm going to take a Beacon Beauty 212 for this. Now, I've just explained to you that I'm feeling a little bit lazy. You know what? It's not lazy. I'm tired. I'm tired after Christmas. That one time of year that believe me, I look forward to Christmas all year. I mean, I'm already looking forward to Christmas next year. Okay, or this year, should I say. I'm already looking forward to Christmas in 2026 because it's my favourite time of year. However, I'm exhausted. I really am exhausted, and it's hard, isn't it? Getting back to it and getting back to those routines, because everything's just been a bit out of sorts during, December. And not in a bad way, in a good way, but it's hard to get motivated again. And do you know what? I'm just going to listen to my inner voice that tells me to just do what you want to do. If you don't want to go crazy on your eyes today, don't go crazy on your eyes today. And I'm keeping it simple. That's what I'm doing. This is a brush I haven't used in a long time. This is the MAC 217. I forgot I had this. I'm going to use this today. Because, just as my makeup gets abandoned, my old makeup brushes get abandoned, and I had a bunch of MAC makeup brushes and I just don't use them anymore. Let's give it a whirl. Why not? So I'm going to go over here, and this is the shade Fervor. Yeah, we're taking the brush out of retirement. This brush would have cost me a fortune as well. MAC brushes are not cheap, and I've had this, to be fair, I've had it years and years. This palette is definitely one that lives up to the name. It's definitely warm, as you would expect it to be. Okay, I've not used this brush in ages either. This is the Sigma E25. Do you remember this brush? I've not used it in so long. So I'm going to go in with a deeper shade. So I'm going to go in with this shade up here, which is Soft Spot, just to tone down that warmth ever so slightly. Gosh, I haven't used this brush in ages. Hey, we're giving everyone a go today. Right, I'm going to take my BK Beauty N12 Nicola Rose brush. It looks like this. And I'm going to go back into that shade again, actually, Soft Spot. And I'm just going to bring some under the lash line. And on top of the lash line. Don't worry, I am going to clean up with concealer because I've been a little bit sloppy. What will we finish off with? This was always my favourite shade down here. Homey. Homey. Nice. We'll just pop it on the lid. It's so pretty, that, isn't it? So pretty. It's gentle, but also impactful. I really love that. So I'll go back in with my shader brush from before into this lighter shade, which is Elm. And we'll just pop a little bit in the inner corner. So do I still love this palette in 2026? The answer is absolutely yes. I think it's a great staple to have in a collection. But as I said in 2024, I'm still going to say the same in 2026, that I don't think it's a palette that you need in your life, because I am highly certain that you already have these in your collection already. So this isn't going to give you anything that's different. It's just a really beautiful palette, but you don't really need it, do you? No, you don't. So there were a lot of mascaras that I fell in love with in 2024, but there was one mascara that I discovered that year that has not faded into the background for me, and it's this, the Essence Lash Without Limits. Love this then, and I love it now. It still would be, I would say, my #1 drugstore mascara. There are other drugstore mascaras that I love, so I really love the new Maybelline one. I love it a lot. However, for everyday use, this is still my #1 because it's just one of those apply and go mascaras that we all need in our drawer. We all need a mascara like this, and it costs about £4. Okay, so it just makes it even more special, and it's ever so slightly tapered there, and it's just great for getting into the inner corner, any hard to reach places. And here's the thing, this isn't going to give you crazy drama. It's not going to give you dramatic length or dramatic volume, but it's just going to give you really nice, pretty everyday lashes. So this actually comes in brown as well, by the way, which is here. Let me show it you. And it's a proper brown, okay, like proper. There you go. I'm not going to use it today because I'm not the biggest brown mascara fan. I don't know why. I've tried to, but I just can't get on board with it. I don't know why. Right, we're going to start with this side today, and I'm just going to go in at the tips first. Then I'm just going to go in at the bottom and wiggle up. What I absolutely love about this is it just clings on to every teeny tiny lash, so you know that you're getting the best result possible. So again, this isn't going to give you super volume in your lashes. It's not going to give you really long eyelashes, but it's going to give you a really nice amount of both. For a mascara to tick my boxes, it has to be easy to apply, really quick and easy. It has to be done within seconds, which this one absolutely is. It has to last all day. It has to remain on my lashes, so not smudge and not transfer and not end up underneath my lash line. This one does not. And the last thing it has to do, it has to be easy to remove. And this is also that. So, I mean, I don't know what else I can say. Ticking the boxes, and for £4. I mean, you cannot moan at that. You just can't. So we're going to go back and we're going to finish off the complexion before we move on to the lips. So under the eyes, this was really surprising for me because the product that I used as a loose powder, I haven't used in so long. And I forgot about it. I know. It's this one from Collection. It's the Lasting Perfection Sheer Loose Powder. And this cost me literally a couple of quid. And I remember it being absolutely amazing. Now, the one thing I remember is this is extremely finely milled, and to be honest, I don't really love super finely milled powders. Like, it literally looks like dust, doesn't it? Literally. I don't usually go for that. However, this, I was so surprised at how smooth and beautiful it was. And then I'm going to take this brush. This is just an old Morphe brush. And I'm going to dip into the powder and just tap. And this is a translucent powder. And I remember this being so flawless, and I expected it to be so dry because it's so inexpensive, and it was lovely. I'm going to be real, I'm going to be honest. It was a favourite in 2024, but I have just not been picking it up. Wow, that is smooth. And again, I don't normally like super finely milled powders like this. But the one thing you're not going to get with this is a bit of coverage. So it's very, very translucent. It's really nice though. Will I be using it again? I don't know about that. I'm going to see how it performs during the day today, and I'll get back to you. My favourite pressed powder for all over the face was this one from Florasis, the Yurong Airbrushed Tinted Pressed Powder. Is it still my favourite? 1000%. Yes, there is no better pressed powder than this powder, and you will not convince me otherwise. Well, I'm due to test the new Huda Beauty pressed powder, so I have high hopes for that, but this is the one I take everywhere with me. It comes everywhere in my handbag. I don't use a lot of powder, but I always use this. And I think Florasis are so underrated as well, especially when it comes to their powders. Their powders are beautiful. And look at this. Look at that. Look at the packaging. Isn't it just insane? It always is with Florasis. So yes, this is still 1000% a yes. I love it. It just keeps everything in place all day. It's amazing. So one of my other favorites for 2024 was this from Hourglass. This was the Ambient Lighting Face Palette. Now this is actually the Evil Eye palette because you can customize the case. And yeah, I really did love this. Do I use it? No, I don't, because we've spoken about this several times. I get too scared to use this because I'm scared of breaking it. I'm scared of using it. I don't know what, yeah, because I'm not very bright, obviously, but I have spoken about this in recent videos that I am going to do my best now to use up limited edition products because I just keep them in a drawer and keep them safe and protect them, and it's just ridiculous. And that's why I didn't buy a new one of these this year. So I'm going to go in with the finishing powder up here. So finishing powder is different to a setting powder. It just kind of melts everything together, gives you a little bit of a filter, and is just gorgeous. It really is. I really should use this powder way more often than what I do. And it's actually not as luminous as I remember it. Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. And then there's a highlighter up here. And look, I've got problematic cheeks right now, but we'll go in with a little bit of it. So I'm going to take my Nikki LaRose BK Beauty N14 brush, and I'm just going to dust into it ever so slightly. This was my favourite highlighter for ages. But then I kind of, once my rosacea started to kick off, I just stopped using highlight. It's a very gentle, subtle highlighter. It's so pretty. Now, when it comes to setting spray, my favourite setting spray that year was the e.l.f. Dewy setting spray, but I don't have that anymore. That was used up and that has gone now, and I haven't replaced it. So I didn't have another setting spray that I spoke about in that video, but it was obviously the Charlotte Tilbury, because that's always been my favourite. So we'll go in with a little bit of this before we go in with lips. Love that. I mean, I'm always going to love that. Yeah, it's my number one. I loved a lot of lip products in 2024, but the ones that I applied in the video are the Maybelline Lifter Lip Liners, which you all know if you've been here before. I still love these. These are still my number one at the drugstore, although there are some really, really good lip liners at the drugstore, for real. There's so many of them. But for lipstick, I loved this. Yes, I did. This is the YSL Loveshine Lipstick. Oh yeah, I fell head over heels for this. I did. And this has run out. So you can see I can't twist it up anymore. Now there's still product in the end there that I have been scraping out. But I did over Christmas order myself a new one. I just become more in love with the Dior Hydrating Shine lipsticks, which, you know, it's not difficult. But these actually, oh, I don't know whether they might be a little bit bougier, a little bit more substantial, a little bit thicker, a little bit more fancy on the lips. I think they might be. So this is my favorite shade. So this is the shade 201. You will always get YSL on discount if you live over this side of the world. So Look Fantastic, they always have discounts on and you can get the YSL discounted. Boots always have YSL discounted. So you can see that it's quite sheer. But when you team this up with a lip liner, it's so nice. And it's one of those lipsticks that you can just, you know, haphazardly apply it and it's never going to look bad. And it smells and tastes really nice too. So now I'm not for one single second saying that you cannot get something similar at the drugstore, because you obviously can, okay? The Revlon Glass Shine lip balms, extremely similar, but these do feel just a little bit more bougie, and the packaging is also bougie. So we're going to go in with one of the Maybelline lifter liners over the top. Now I know in 2024 my favorite shade was Player, but we're not going to use that today. Today we're going to use my current favorite Maybelline shade, which is On It. So this is more of a dark nude. That's how it looks. So it is quite deep, but we're just going to go over just the outline, the lips just a little bit, just to give a little bit of definition. Now, obviously, it's preferable to do this first, but I wanted you to see the YSL. So that is the finished look for today. And honestly, I'm so delighted with my 2024 favorites. And being completely real with you, I feel I'm pretty chuffed with myself. I'm pretty happy with myself. I feel like I still use and love so many of my 2024 favorites. Yes, granted, I have replaced a few of them because I've had my head turned. Honestly, so much of today I absolutely love, and I just needed that refresh, and that's why I love doing videos like this. So my challenge to you, go back to your 2024 favorites specifically, pull them out and let me know, what do you still love? What have you fallen back in love with? Or what are you leaving back in 2024? Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.